What's good, everybody? Welcome in to another episode of Betting the PFL, episode number 3, presented, as always, by DraftKings Sportsbook. PFL regular season event number 2. And me and Parker, number 1 in your betting hearts. Now, Ian Parker, as we head towards Vegas on Friday night, it's the biggest MMA combat sports weekend of the year. You'll be in Vegas, the PFL will be in Vegas, and you got to be hyped for this weekend.
I absolutely am. We got event after event, and it all starts the PFL on Friday night with a bunch of amazing matchups in PFL fighters, Bellator fighters, so much on the line. It all starts with that. Let's go.
You're damn right. 6 p.m. Eastern time, the pre-fight show. Me and Ian will be a big part of that. And then the early card starts at 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. 5 fights and some really good lightweight fights. Anything jump off the screen to you, Ian?
Coach, on the early fights, Bruno Miranda, who fought for the PFL last year as well, he is every type of fighter you want. He keeps it standing, he bangs, he throws punches against a former Bellator champ in Brent Primus, who's going to be looking to take it to the ground. Would be a huge win for Miranda here. And for Primus, getting his feet wet in the PFL, I'm excited for that one.
All right, we'll get to the early card in just a moment. Let's look at the main card. And what's cool about this week, 7 fights, all 5 of the light heavyweight fights, because this week is lightweight and light heavyweights. All 5 are on the main card. What do you see here?
Coach, look, there's a lot of guys coming back between Shoeface, between Razor, Rob Wilkinson that we're looking to see. Someone in Saad Bousi who's jumping up 2 weight classes to compete at light heavyweight. And look, Clay Collard and Pitbull, you can't ask for anything better than that. It's going to be a fun one.
You're damn right. In our main event, there is only one. When I say only one, I mean only one fighter coming back to defend his title from 2023, and that Impa Kasaganay. And his story is nothing short of amazing. But it's kind of interesting, Ian. A great 2023, but then February nearly had the biggest win of his career, some would say. And then in the end, it was taken away. Where do you think that mindset is at for Impa?
For Impa Kasaganay, it really shouldn't be any more than a confidence booster. You know, this is probably one of those sports where even if you lose, sometimes you win. He took someone in Johnny Eblen to the brink. He almost finished him in round 1. Eblen's never been finished. Eblen's undefeated. He almost won that fight. It came down to the second half of round 3 where he just got out-wrestled, which was what everyone thought would happen. The fact that he was able to get to that point, huge confidence booster. I think he brings that into this fight, into the season, and we'll see if he can do it again.
Yeah, he has absolutely nothing to lose, and now that he's a champion, he wants to do it again. Plenty more in the main event and the main card coming up a little bit later in the show. But let's start with our picks with the early card. We'll show it one more time, and I want to specifically talk about Rabadanov and Solomon Renfro. For PFL fans coming in right here, right now, educates a little bit on 2 guys that have had some experience here in the PFL.
Well, look, Rabadanov fought here a little while ago, then went over to Bellator, and he's had some success. He's more of a grappler, decision guy. And Renfro came in last year fighting up a weight class on short notice, getting a knockout, and then taking Magomed Karamov, who was the champ, the distance. It's interesting because right now, Rabadanov is the 2-1 favorite, and I don't know if I love that here. Renfro is really tough to get down. I think he's going to have the advantage on the feet. If anything, look for when the fight comes out to see what the over is on the 2.5, possibly to go the distance. I don't even mind taking a shot on the dog in Renfro here.
And don't even worry about it. We got some props to look at coming up also later in the show. Another fight from the early card, Miranda and Primus. What are you seeing here?
Look, you got a guy in Primus who's a former Bellator champ, also fought for the belt recently. He is a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, very good at getting guys to the ground, however, very hittable when standing. And against someone in Bruno Miranda who is built like literally like a fire engine. He is somebody that is short, stocky, keeps the fight standing, constant pressure, power for days. I think the dog is live here. If he can keep this fight on the feet, give me Bruno Miranda to represent the PFL here. I think he could even get a knockout and surprise a lot of people.
It's almost kind of getting a feeling like we had in February when we had Bellator against PFL. I like that feeling. I like it a lot. Now, let's take a left turn. 3 of the lightweight fights are on the early card. 2 are on the main card with 5 of the light heavyweight fights. So it's going to be a 7-card main card. Try to say that 3 times. But there is a man. And I mean a man that you love saying his name. And that name would be Ian Parker.
Shoeface Antonio Carlos Jr., Coach.
You're damn right. Shoeface. Now, back in 2021, if you need a little reminder, this man was on top of the world. And if you need a little reminder, take a look.
Antonio Carlos Jr., the man they call Shoeface. Martin Hamlet, the Norwegian, for a belt and $1 million. Nice combination. Nice double leg. Good setup there from Antonio Carlos Jr. Right onto the back of Martin Hamlet. And then after the spin, he's got the choke in. Martin Hamlet taps out. That's it. Antonio Carlos Jr. will make the choke for a championship at $1 million.
So now, when you take a year or two or just some time off physically, it can change how you set up for fights. So Shoeface is back, taking on a guy named Simon Young. It's not easy to say, but he's a tremendous fighter. Has Shoeface, in your mind, been out too long?
You know what? I think anyone out for that time, it's kind of tough to come back. Ring rust is a thing, but he's a veteran. He's been around long enough. He's had breaks before. He's had injuries before. The difference here, coach, is that there's very few guys with the accolades that he has when it comes to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu of all time across the world. I see him winning this fight by submission. He's no new, listen, he's done this season before. He knows what it takes. I think he's fought better competition. And that's no disrespect to his opponent, but Shoeface is one of a kind. Let's see him win this one and win it by submission.
Let's remember, this is the toughest test in all of MMA, all of combat sports. To win it all, you've got to fight 4 times in about 6 or 7 months. So it's very, very difficult. Let's stay on the main card, light heavyweights. And let me check my notes, Ian Parker. Devletson Yakhshimuradov. Got that right. Jakub Nato. Now, let's remember Nato, he got here by incredibly exciting fights in PFL Europe. And let's look at the finishes. First, second. This cat does not like to fight long. Your take?
If you don't finish him, he's going to finish you. Nato is the literal Terminator. He is an exciting fighter. He will take one to give one even harder. I think he's going to surprise a lot of people here because if the fight stays standing, number one, his control against the cage is excellent. Very powerful guy. Durability is beyond zombie status. We're going to go Nato here to get it done, and we're going to see him continue to rise.
Now, Ian Parker, I know there's a lot of people out there watching right now betting the PFL going, hey, Coach, Ian. Like, hey, Coach, Ian, where can I make these fights? And what do I get? Well, guess what? We've got a very, very, very special offer from DraftKings just for you. In a PFL fight, one choke, one armbar can tap you out. But now DraftKings Sportsbook wants to tap you back in with a no-sweat bet. Get up to $1,500 in a bonus bet back if your first bet on the PFL goes down. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now and sign up with the promo code PFL and get a no-sweat first bet up to $1,500 if your first bet doesn't hit. Action is so good, why bet the PFL anywhere else? The crown is yours. So exciting to once again be with DraftKings here in 2024. Now, Ian, speaking of exciting, this next matchup, give it to the matchmakers at the PFL for this one. Sadabu C, former champion. Last year made it all the way to the finals again before losing in the championship and has decided that he's going to move up to light heavyweight this year. Now, he's a tall guy, not super, super bulky, but apparently the weight cut was just a little bit too much for him. What do you make of the decision to go to light heavyweight this year?
You know what? It's going to be interesting. The weight cut, we've known for a while, has always been tough. He's a very big guy for that weight class. Really a natural middleweight. Probably walks around at 200 pounds. So I don't even know if he's going to have to cut anything to be at 205. So that might make it easier for him with training, with his cardio. But, Coach, the question is that going to really give up the advantages he had at welterweight between the reach, the speed? It was just the power going from 205 to 70. That's a whole different ball game here. And I don't know. That's going to be interesting because a lot of guys, when they put on that much weight, he's not skipping one weight class. He's skipping 2. He's fighting 35 pounds up. That is very different. I don't know how many times we've seen that before, so I'm very curious to see how C does here.
And let's remember that bonus points usually play in on who goes to the playoffs, and those bonus points are by finishes. And if you don't have the power to finish, that could be an issue. Now, on the other side, Josh Silveira, he went all the way, literally to the end of the season last year, losing in a 5-round unanimous decision to Impa. So Josh Silveira knows how to get it done in the regular season. What do you make of him in 2024?
This is going to be Josh Silveira really having to, I think this is where he has to make that forefront move. And I think of all the seasons, unfortunately for him, this is going to be the most competitive one. In the past, he was able to breeze through the first 2 fights to get to the playoffs. This one's simply not the case. He's going to have to get past the reach and the kickboxing. And I know this is going to sound crazy, but the takedown defense of Sadabusi, which has been tremendously improved. Silveira is good on the feet, but where he really excels the most is on the ground, which is also Sadabusi's kryptonite. So we shall see who's going to be able to really implement that game here. But, Coach, I'll go out on a limb here and say I don't think either guy gets finished in this fight.
So who are you picking to win by decision?
The fact that Josh Silveira is the underdog here is a little surprising to me because I think his striking is good enough to get to close the distance and not get tagged too much. The wrestling is there, way better jiu-jitsu. At underdog odds, give me Silveira.
Yeah, that's the betting odds, but in just the fight, that would just be a 3-point win, which may not be enough. We'll see. Stranger things have happened. Again, this is just the first fight of 2 regular season fights. Now, I mentioned the matchmakers, and we like working at the PFL. In fact, we love working at the PFL. I don't need to hype them up, but damn it, Ian Parker, I'm going to do it again because we have a fight on this main card that I cannot wait for. On one side, you got Clay Collard, blue collar. His story is nothing short of heart-wrenching, heartbreaking, but that of resilience. Then on the other side, you got a former Bellator champion, Pitbull, one of the great names in all of MMA. And they get to go toe-to-toe. Pitbull dipping his toe in the PFL. I got to win 4 fights in 6 months. Pool? I'm here for it. But if people need a little extra incentive to watch this fight, here you go.
Oh, big left hook landed for Clay Collard and the right hand behind it.
The tricky Pitbull on the hunt. The guts in the heart of a champion. He's been at the top.
Round
Stevie Ray's in trouble.
Oh, Stevie Ray hurt. Down.
He's hurt. It's over. Right hand. A huge win for Pitbull. That's it. Pitbull looking to finish, and he does.
Some speed now from Clay Collard. And the right hand.
Here comes Pitbull.
I got to tell you, Ian Parker, you're putting these two guys together. If you're a true MMA fan, a true fight fan, I don't know how you could ask for anything more. I do not envy you having to pick a side in this fight. What do you got?
Look, whenever Clay Collard is fighting, it's must-see TV. It's cardio, it's nonstop volume and striking. He can take it, the durability. And as you mentioned, he's got that story that motivates him. On the other side, Bellator veteran, the other Pitbull brother who is an excellent fighter. Look, for me here, I think that the one Achilles heel of Clay Collard is always going to be against a wrestler who can hold him down and keep him there. And Pitbull is just not that one. Give me Cassius Clay Collard here. I think he is the better striker. As long as he doesn't get tagged, which with Collard doesn't matter. He is a zombie. Even if he does, he stays on his feet. Let's go Clay Collard here to get it done.
Yeah, we know Clay Collard is going to stand right in front of him. He's if he hit me, I'm just going to keep coming. I'll keep coming. I'll keep coming. And this is one of those situations where Bellator gets infused into the PFL regular season, and it's absolutely the right call. All right, let's get to the co-main event of the evening. 2022 light heavyweight champion. His name, Rob Wilkinson. And the question is, as he faces Tom Breeze, can he get back to the form that he had in 2022 when he raised that trophy, when he put the belt around his waist? That's my question to you, Ian Parker.
Razor Rob Wilkinson is the most, for me, is the one guy to watch here. I want to see how he comes back from the year off. He's fighting someone in Tom Breeze that, for those that don't know, brilliant on the ground. If he gets you there, you're not getting back up, and you better defend because he is so good at choking people out. Really one of the best in the world at this weight class at Jiu-Jitsu. Showed up in PFL Europe, got it done when he wasn't necessarily expected to be that dominant. For Razor Rob, he has to keep the fight on the feet here. If he gets put on his back, he will be neutralized, and it's unfortunate because on the feet, he's probably, if not the best striker there. I'm still going to go his way, because it's hard to imagine Brees be able to physically get him down. Wilkinson is very tough, strong. We're going to go Razor Rob here, but this first fight will be very telling how he does for the rest of the season.
I feel like sometimes you sit at home, you just say certain names because you enjoy it, Ian. And I feel like Razor Rob is one of those names. Am I right?
Yeah.
Damn right I'm right. All right, now it's time for the main event of the evening. And this is a guy who we talked about at the top of the show. Incredible story. Going from living in his car, refusing to go back home, saying, this is my dream, this is what I'm going to do. And he did it. Impa Kasanganay, going all the way to the top of the mountain. He's the only reigning PFL champion back in 2024 to defend that title. Then you got the other side, Alex Polizzi, and he wants to destroy all the goodwill that Impa has brought with him. Now, we mentioned it in February. His parents flew to Saudi Arabia. They were in attendance against Johnny Eblen. He knocked him down. I thought the fight was going to be over early. It wasn't. Eblen comes back. We'll see how he responds. But from a betting standpoint, a pick standpoint, what do you see?
Well, look, I think this is a very deserved spotlight main event for Impa Kasanganay. His opponent is tough. He's durable, but he has never faced someone like Impa. And I think for Impa, this is going to be the opportunity to show out and get a quick finish between rounds 1 and 2 against someone in Polizzi. I love Impa here. The number's a little high, so he will 100% be part of the parlay. From a prop standpoint, that's the way you're going to have to go here. So maybe an inside the distance or a knockout for Impa would be the only value play there. I think he's sitting at almost a minus 500 as one of the biggest favorites on the card as of right now.
It's going to be interesting to see how some of the veterans in the PFL adjust to things, because we've seen, Ian, a lot of times before where fighters come in, don't quite understand the bonus points, and they just fight like a normal fight instead of with urgency. We need to see urgency in these regular season fights. Those bonus points mean all the difference, which brings us to our next section of the show, because prop betting, I would say, in all the organizations, it's most important in the PFL because of the bonus points. So I need 3, Ian Parker, that you're looking at potentially as we move through the week that people can really look at and say, you know what, if I like that number, I can play it.
Sure. Let's start off with Shoeface, Antonio Carlos Jr. Take a look at that submission prop there. That's how he wins. It's how he gets it done most of the time. I could see him taking the back and doing it there. That's the first one. We talked about Impa Kasanganay. Look for it to win by TK or KO. If you could get even a decent line at inside the distance, I would look there. And Coach, last but not least, I'm going to take a little bit of a flyer here. Maybe not really a flyer. I think Clay Collard gets it done. Look for him to get it done by decision. Pitbull's very durable as well. It's going to be a fun fight. And those are your 3 props for the evening.
And remember, these regular season fights are only 3 rounds, unlike the championship, which are 5. Big, big difference. Be tuned in here to educate and entertain you at home. Now, I get tweets all the time, or should I say on the X, because they want something that can keep their attention throughout the entire evening. And I always say, I got Parker's parlay that I'm rolling with. Do you want to roll with me? And they always say yes, Ian Parker. So, for this week's Parker's parlay, where are we going?
You know what, Coach? I'm not afraid to take some shots here. I'm pretty confident in these picks. So let's go Impa, let's go Shoeface, and let's go Clay Collard at that 3-way. I think we're going to get decently plus odds here. I think all 3 win their fights. PFL sweep. Let's go.
And you said you are confident, but you got to be really confident to make your bold prediction. So, Ian Parker, I ask you, your last pick of the show, bold prediction time. Where are you going?
Shoeface, round 1, submission.
Fantastic analysis. Incredible by you.
Simple as that.
Simple.
Sometimes you just got to keep it simple.
There you go. We will be back on Friday evening at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, part of the pre-fight show. Then we'll be with you throughout the night as we tout the green check marks that we get next to our name on the X all the time. The early card starts at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and the main card at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. A reminder, 7 big fights. All of the light heavyweight fights are on the main card at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. That'll do it for this episode. For Ian Parker, I am the coach. This has been Betting the PFL, presented by DraftKings Sportsbook, and we'll see you on Friday night. Take care.